Okay. Should be good. I should be on now. It's disabled. All right. Yeah. I just want to explain what this whole thing is. Let me see if I can get to the channel. The whole thing. I mean, big box and launch box and recharge and all that stuff. And, let's see. Let's see, I'm waiting for my channel to load. Why is it still showing my game as being this? Doesn't make sense. I got a teen rated stream. I'm a cool dude. It's going, it's just not picking up yet. It's up, loading, okay. Where's my other mixer channel? It's this. This is my generic. We're not getting anything. It's not good. Hold on a second. Okay. As again, I'm looking. What's funny is that it says that my mixer. Oh no! It gave me another this time. It says my mixer channel is up. Okay. All right, we're good. All right. I'm gonna turn on my restream chat just in case somebody messages out of doubt. You never know. Anyway, I want to explain how the whole basically what RetroArch is, and then you got Launchbox and Big Box, and why would you upgrade, and what's the advantage to each one. Just gotta wait for the stupid chat to load. Just looking up at it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. All right. So here we go. So I've got my Steam controller hooked up. I'm probably going to use this to demonstrate how everything works. So, all right, I have a bunch of emulators installed. I actually don't have as many as I used to. Where is my little folder? Emulation, right here. So I've got these different emulators. I've got some other ones on the computer too that aren't set to here. Like MAME. This is the PS2 emulator. I got Fightcade for online stuff. Dreamcast, Dolphin, and Apple II emulator because I'm one of those people. And the way that all of this works is, so if I wanted to play a GameCube game, I can load up Dolphin, and you can go in here, and Dolphin, since this is one of the most recent releases, has a lot of really good support. I don't know why I don't have a game list set up. Let's go ahead and do that real quick, just because I'm CD. That's right. Change that. That's right. All right, I put it in 2 different folders, so I have a folder, and I also have a GameCube somewhere. Bam. So I'll set those two. Close. All right, and bam, there we go. I got my full list of games. So this is how you can manage your GameCube and Wii games really easily. That's cool. It's really cool. This emulator works really good. Plus, it has all the NetPlay stuff built into it. Also got my Dreamcast emulator, which is the same sort of thing. You go in there and you open that up and go to your list and pick the game you want to play, just like you would for anything else. How people have been doing it forever, so it's not really a problem. And a lot of these standalone emulators work really good. But then you've got RetroArch, and what RetroArch is, which is the thing that I've seen, I've had people ask in streams anyway, is, oh, this thing plays everything. Let's see if it picked up there. There we go. The way that RetroArch works is that it's using what's called libretro cores, and that's what the load core is, load content, all that stuff. So what you would do is you'd go in here, go to online updater, and you got your core updater, and this is how you pick. What you're basically doing is picking like a mini version of the emulator to work in here. So like you see this as like FB Alpha 2012. That's an arcade emulator. So if you want to play like say Street Fighter, you could get the CPS2 or CPS1 emulator, depending on which game it is. You can download that and then add those games to your list, and you're basically running that emulator. But you're doing it with this little interface here, which is great because you can control this whole thing with the controller. And again, you can do all sorts of stuff with this. Like I've got Doom. I don't really like how this core works, but it's here. That's a babe, if you couldn't tell. That's supposed to be a babe, according to the 88 games, which must have been 19. I want to say that was probably 87. You'll also notice that when I go through this list, some of my games, like right here, especially the N64 games, have pictures, and so do some of the Super Nintendo. Same with Super Nintendo. You can download packs. There's actually a little manager that's built into this. I'm going to go ahead and load this game right here because it's there. So there we go. Boom. And then we're in here. And I can hit F1, go back to the list, and switch to another platform if I want to. That's Launchbox. Launchbox is something, it's really cool. Really. Got all these different platforms in here. But the thing with Launchbox, though, or not Launchbox, RetroArch, is like if you get the standalone emulators, a lot of times they work better. But if you want to have all of this stuff in one place, this is a great thing to use. Like most of the cores that are in here are going to give you pretty good compatibility. This PSP core is complete garbage. So because some of these cores are good and some of them aren't super great, that's when you get into the whole like, well, maybe I'll check out Launchbox. And what Launchbox is go over here and open that. This is free. This is another free program. Like I said, in RetroArch, you can download those little thumbnails to show you what the boxes of the games look like, but it just shows you the front picture. So Launchbox, when it opens, there we go. This is one of the most recent updates, so it's faster. It still takes a while, but I think it's because I have a giant library too. I need to add more stuff to it also. So Launchbox has this nice interface here, which is cool because it's probably not going to work right now because this. Yeah, I have to go into Steam and launch it. But what this does though is you can navigate this whole thing with the controller. And the advantage that this has is that you're still setting up emulators in here. This is actually like a step above using RetroArch. Like if you're using RetroArch and you're thinking like, oh, some of these games aren't opening all that well, but I like using the controller for everything. I'm going to go on this right here, and it actually shows you, here's my full emulator list. This is everything that I'm using with this. So you download these emulators separately. You'll see that right there, RetroArch. I use that for a lot of games. Everything else that's on here, these are more specific things that just don't work well with RetroArch. So like I got my Dreamcast, I got this is 3DS, you got Wii U, I've got Main for arcade. I'm not gonna. This is my Saturn thing. This is the Saturn core. That's included in RetroArch. Isn't all that good? So you have the emulator set up, and then you basically import all of your games into here. And what that does is it gives you a description. You get these nice little the box art for the games. You got the description on the side over here. You got a star rating, which community voted star rating system. So I'm gonna click on Actors or 1 because this game is great. I can give it 5 stars. And you can navigate this whole thing with the controller too. And once you get the emulator set up, it's the same basic thing. It's just in some ways, I mean, it takes a little bit longer in some ways, but I like the fact that this looks a lot. It looks a lot cooler. Like if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, if I'm going through a full file list, I'll actually do that right here. Great example because I just set this up the other day. There it is, Nintendo. So I have all my Nintendo games in here, and I can double click on any of them and open them in an emulator, which should happen in a second. There we go. But like, this is how I've always done it. This is how I've looked at emulation stuff since like in 1998 or whatever, just going through files or using like whatever emulator and selecting the files, and it's always look like this, and you see all the games you have, you know what you downloaded, but there's something different between, like, let's just say it's I don't know, Godzilla 2. Oh boy, everybody's favorite game. Nobody ever. So I've got that file right there, and that's great. But if I go over here to this, I can actually, it takes a second to load, but let's see, let's go down to the G's. And to me, I've always had this feeling that, like, when it comes to emulation, it's cool. I like that you can do it, but a lot of people don't spend as much time with the games because you have everything on here. So if you have something like this set up, you can actually look, like, right there. Here's the Godzilla 2 box. I can see the box. I can kind of scroll through and be like, oh, what do I want to play today? And it kind of gives it more of a, I don't know, I guess more of a, more motivation to check some of these things out. Like, I might, see a game on a list and be like, what the hell is this? And then you see the cool box art. You're like, holy smokes, Godzilla's on fire, and there's lightning come off of him. You can flip the box over. If the game has back of the box art stuff, you got fan art, wallpapers, whatever they want to put in there too. And I think that's something that's really cool. And this opens with this is going to open with RetroArch, I believe. So when I double click on it, should in a second just pop up, and all it's doing, I just get to see the box there. Bam. And that's the game. So that's all this is. It's just opening different emulators, and it's showing me the boxes for the games before I do that. But then you've got Big Box, which is, it's weird that I have it because I'm clearly using a computer monitor, and you can clearly see that I'm not any further away from the computer. But just as, I don't know, maybe it's just a aesthetic thing. I just think it's really cool to go in here and gotta wait for Big Box to load. I'll show you how to import stuff into it. What's this? A quick 15-second scan to see if we can identify any. Better not. What's this setup? Yeah, there's no problems found. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, it's trying to update. Oh, we'll wait for this to go. Anyway, once you have the emulators and stuff set up, you just go to the Manage Emulator screen to do that. If you want to import your games, you can literally just take a game. You can have like this folder right here open, and then I want to say you can have Launchbox open on the other side, and you can literally just drag and drop, and it basically tries to build everything. That could be completely off. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But what you can also do is you can, when this finishes updating or whatever, you can go in there, and there is a section, it's like an import wizard, and you can go in there and select, like, I want to import this folder, and it'll give you 3 different options. You choose ROM files, you choose what system it's for, and then it just kind of pulls everything and downloads everything from the internet, and that's how you get your library. Hooray. So why is this? Don't need this update. Don't need this up. Yeah. Wait for another scan. Let's see. Let's see. Is the stream frozen? Mixer stream is frozen. So Mixer to freeze. I like Mixer. Let's check out Twitch real quick. Here's my computer freaking out. Big Box open. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so once you have all that stuff imported into Launchbox, all Big Box does is you get different interfaces to navigate through. This is. Let me see. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit so I can actually talk over it and remember what the hell I'm saying. Master volume. Go to 20%. All right. Okay. Yeah, all this is like it's an even nicer way to look at stuff. Like, let's go back to the Nintendo games. This is the theme that I have downloaded, so it does look different from the stock one, but the stock one does a pretty good job of doing the same thing. We'll go in here, then we'll go down to the G's again, and again, I just think this is really cool, especially if you're using a controller. Like when you use Launchbox, if you're sitting at the PC, it's not too bad. But if you're sitting back a little bit and you're using the controller to navigate everything, this is a lot easier to read. To me, it looks a lot cleaner. It takes longer to go through the list of stuff, but I just think that it's something that's really cool. And again, it's doing the exact same thing. Like if I select this game, should just open up a chart. It actually shows you over there. Boom. All right, so I'm back in here. Yeah, that's all this is. This is just like a nicer version of Launchbox. So if that's what you want, I mean, it's $20. I think it's cool, but again, I have a hard time recommending it for everybody because I know a lot of people don't care. A lot of people, they might go so far as to be like, well, I only want, I don't know, I want to play the Super Mario games, and that's all they have on their computer. So if you only have a small collection, I don't think it's really worth it. Personally, unless you just love organization, which I do. I think having this here, I think this is really cool going in here and seeing these boxes. There's another step that you can take, which is you could sign up for this service called MU Movies, and that downloads movies for all this stuff too. What this is going to do, the side effect is you, by downloading all of this stuff, like if you get Big Box and you use Launchbox, you are downloading more images to your computer. So sometimes it takes a while. I'm actually going to go and switch to desktop mode. It's going to go back to regular Launchbox. This window. I don't know why this is doing. I gotta disable this. I don't know why that's doing that. I need to figure out a whitelist this. Then that's a new feature for some reason. Here we go. Oh, I have an update window. Check that window out in a second. 8.1 beta 1. Oh, this is the same. This is just notifying me. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so the importing thing I was actually about to do. I'm having an issue getting myself to do it because I know I have a lot of games on the computer. So if you saw with the tools, it was like import and then ROMs. You choose if you want to use like ROMs, your Steam library, DOS games, Windows games, or whatever. This is going to take a second. This has popped up. So what I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Let's go to add files. All right, so I'm going to navigate to my ROMs folder and to start. So I have this here. I'm doing it this way because the other way would take forever. Now I'm going to import Bruce Lee because then you choose from the drop-down menu what system it's for. So I'm going to go to, I want to say it's the bottom. Let's check up it. It's the C's maybe. It's going to take a second. Showing up. Looking for the spectrum. Looking for the spectrum on this list. I'm hoping it's in here. Sure. I would assume it is. Sinclair, yeah, it's Sinclair. Thinking it was Commodore. How dare me? And then the emulator list that you have, this is where this pops up at. So you choose the emulator. So mine's set to open with RetroArch. And what I do personally, because I like my files being in the same place, is I just leave them in the current location, and it's going to try to get the information if it can. This is also going to let me show you something else that happens with this. So there's Bruce Lee, so it's not going to show me the right name for the game. This is it downloading down here. Wait. I think, yeah, there we go. Importing Bruce Lee. All right. Yeah, you saw on the bottom it was downloading this stuff. All right, so a second, hopefully it's gonna wait for this list to refresh. All right, yeah, so now this is gonna show up in this right here. Bam, it's got the box, and then when I open it, when I double click on it, it's going to open up RetroArch again because that's what it's set to do. So I just think it's really cool to have these images of the box like this. That's the main reason I did this. Is I like the organization, I like things being in a list. I like how they make their own playlist. See if this works or not. I actually just set this game up to run the emulator, so I'm hoping everything is okay. To redo the controls, I'm sure. So I wonder, I think I have that set up right. Sure. I'm not sure. I can't tell what's happening yet. Never tell. Takes a while. Sure. Well, anyway, if this was running properly, I can't tell if it's actually trying to load in the background or if we're set up wrong or whatever. It would just open up in RetroArch, and then boom, you can just play the game like that. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's hard to say like go ahead and get big box when I would say start off with RetroArch, and if you like that and you want something that's a little bit cleaner, then go to Launchbox. And if something about Launchbox is driving you crazy, like you just don't like the size of the windows or whatever, then maybe you go to big box or whatever. But like I said, it's not necessary. It's not really a necessary thing. I think it looks really cool in streams. I think if I had like an arcade machine or something, yeah, this worked fine. Gotta set up the core. I forgot what it was. Oh, I know how to do this. Emulator. Yeah, we're gonna go in here. Edit associated platforms. I didn't associate it with this yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Sinclair, Spectrum. This is another thing that takes a while to do with RetroArch specifically in the simulator. With other ones, it's not nearly as complicated. Boom. All right. Sure, it's all typed right. I think that's it. All right. Let's go back to that game. Because this is the kind of thing that if I didn't think to do this now, this would drive me crazy. Use, I believe, is the name of the core. And again, it's hard to know because they change the names all the time. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, it's in here. Here, cores. Just copy this whole file name, make sure it's all in there. Okay. Yeah, it's spelled right. I don't know. I'm not sure what's not popping up yet. I'm not super concerned with it. I don't know. It's just not loading for some reason. It could be like the PC stuff that I have on here is kind of wishy-washy. It's sort of hard to get working. That's why I don't have a lot of those games on this list. Not to mention a lot of times when you launch some of them, like they just don't do anything. That's why I try to stick to just using the console games. They're a lot easier to deal with. But anyway, that's it. That's all. All right. I'll be back probably later, as always, doing whatever. But I hope that helped. Hope that helped explain everything. Toodles.